Well, thank you very much again for this very honorable invitation. What he's saying is capitalism is like water and not like iron. The very point is its malleability and therefore its freedom. And there's nothing wrong with capitalism, if that's capitalism. So what we shouldn't have is what Karl Polanyi called a market society, ethical capitalism. So it's not that markets are wrong. Markets are fine, but not everything should be on a market. And what exactly should be on a market can only be decided from business-informed decision-making, I will argue. Moral facts. By a moral fact, I mean a true answer to a meaningful question concerning what we ought to do. And you're very thirsty, and it's summer, and there's this cold beer over there, which you just ordered, right? And if you save the child, the beer will be lukewarm. So what do you have to do? The answer is obvious. You have to save the child, right? If you have doubts, then you make the mistake that the philosopher Bernard Williams once called one thought too many, right? In the pandemic, what is the best solution to the pandemic? How much border closure? How much school closure? How long should the restaurants be open? In the form of the breakdown of the health system, you have to do something. That's what I call the virological imperative. That's valid. But the virological imperative alone doesn't solve the pandemic because there's also the education imperative. Surplus value production, that is the mystery of all economics, is tied to ethical thinking. Here's why. Business is that, so let's see if there's something that we can do together. I want water, you produce water, we have shared interest, right? So business is about shared interest and therefore value judgment. And if there's something that we are all interested in simply because we are humans, that is morality, then morality is the best business case you can have. He thought that markets would solve human problems because humans are engaged in market activity and humans are capable of what he called sympathy, what we call empathy now, mutual mind reading, which is a highly developed skill in Japan. One of the reasons why you're very good at business. It's the capacity of mutual mind reading, which plays a very important role in the social infrastructure in Japan, right? Anticipating the desire of the other and then judging from that position and expecting a similar return, right? This is how you move up together. That's the fundamental form. And if there's something that we all are interested in, then that is your best business case. Simple example. Recent economic theorizing has nicely shown that there is a concept of true profit, as Colin Mayer calls this. And the concept of true profit by engaging in mutual aid. That's the idea of Colin Mayer and John Kay's theory of the company, post-capitalist company, as he sometimes puts it. But why do we think that we can still afford living in a world where we don't have ethics council? It's progressive in that sense and precisely not limiting. And the form of this is fundamentally, this is where the eco comes in, the form of the organism, the form of life, which is why in recent economic thinking there's a big trend towards evonomics, evolutionary economics, because a company is actually a living organism or approaches a living organism. It's a thinking animal, as the Marxist mistake again suggests, where we think of nature as a raw given and the economy as a transformation of the raw given. Then we are engaged in eco-social thinking. I think that to be social is to engage in mutual mind reading, attitude adjustment. This starts in early childhood training as a tool for finding out moral facts, just as we can think of technology as a tool for finding out what we should do with it. And what we ought to do can therefore only be found out if we strengthen the role of business in society. So in my eco-social liberalism that I'm recommending, we achieve more freedom in liberal democratic rule of law sustainability sounds very much like just maintaining something in existence. But life always grows. Growth is good. We need more growth. But the growth that we need is qualitative growth, right? So a company can grow by being better at being social. That's growth. And we can measure that economically. There's no reason to think that GDP always measures the destruction of Earth. Corporate behavior in the future of capitalism consists in contributing to the heuristics, the way of finding moral facts. And I wanted to suggest that in ethical capitalism, ethics and the human sciences, including, of course, the artifacts from the so-called art world, can cooperate in order to find ways out of the complicated, actually complex crisis we are facing as humanity.